Thank you for joining us for this virtual press conference. It is the goal of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department to keep this channel of communication open with our community, even as we continue to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic. It is always our goal to keep this level of transparency with our community members. And while on the topic of transparency, here with us this morning is Deputy Chief Patterson, who is going to present the launching of a new initiative on behalf of the CMPD to take that transparency to the next step. Chief?
Thank you, Lieutenant Fishback. Good morning to everyone. We'd love to have you here today, but of course we're doing this completely virtual. It's good to see and hear you all. As stated by the Lieutenant, I'm happy to announce that CMPD is ready to introduce and launch CoreStat 2021. I know that you have questions about it. You want to know what it is and why is it that CMPD is doing CoreStat. Well, I'll tell you that in 2020, we really learned a lot about police and community relations. The many sessions that we had with our Safe Communities Committee really taught us that the general public really doesn't know a lot about what CMPD does. And there's many things that you want us to do, and certainly we want to hear that. And even though CMPD has a rich tradition of working with the community and partnering with the community, we still realize that the general public doesn't know just exactly what it is that we do. And so we want to make sure that we're able to educate, and we want to do it from a community engagement perspective. So CoreStat 2021 is centered around Chief Jennings' Core 4 platform, which is about crime management, community collaboration, employee wellness, and professional accountability. So in launching CoreStat 2021, we are providing a platform where members of the community, where those in their neighborhoods can learn more about CMPD by engaging with our commanders in the field. We can talk about issues. There's going to be an interactive dialogue where members of the community can come in and talk to us about what is important to them in their communities. We want to talk about crime and crime drivers and what we at CMPD are doing about that crime. We also want to talk about what our employees are doing, how we train them to be better police officers and better dispatchers and better crime scene techs. Also, during our CoreStat sessions, we are going to talk about the many partnerships and programs that we align with, such as Rock Charlotte, Right Moves for Youth, YWCA, the faith community. We want to tell you what we're doing in those areas with those different organizations. Now, our first session is going to launch tomorrow, Thursday, at 10 a.m. It's going to be with our Metro Division and Central Division. Our commanders and our lieutenants are going to be there to talk about these things I've just said, but also to, and more importantly, to get feedback from the community. We're going to have community leaders and members on the line with us. They will be tuning in virtually, and they will be able to ask us questions. They will be able then to also tell us what's important in their community. What is it that they want to see from our officers and from our police department? So we're really excited about this new initiative as we start 2021. We want to hear from the community. We're here to serve, and we want to be transparent, just like Lieutenant Fishback said at the beginning. That is what we're about here at CMPD. So we look forward to doing our CoreStat sessions. After tomorrow's session, we will continue every other Thursday with different divisions, and we will continue to ask that the community be involved. We're looking to expand our CoreStat to the general public after COVID-19 restrictions lift and we're able to have people in a room where we can be more interactive. So with that, that's just a little bit about what we're looking at for CoreStat 2021. I will take any questions that you have related to it. I know there's some questions out there. We're working through that.
I have Paige Prata.
Okay, Paige Prata. Can you hear me, Paige? One second. Let's get you on speaker. All right, Paige, I think I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. I actually have a question about if there are any valid threats from in Charlotte or that you guys have heard of ongoing with the inauguration next week, or if that's anything CMPD is fielding right now.
Yes, so our intelligence unit is looking into any kind of threats, following any information. We have not received any credible threats, any information related to anything that might be a result of the inauguration. Thank you for that question. Is there another question?
Susanna?
Susanna?
Hey, Liz, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can. Go ahead.
I am curious if CMPD plans to enforce the provisions of the health directive, the directive of the health department.
Yes. So, and I assume that you're talking about the provision by the health department yesterday, and also the executive order. So CMPD will continue to do what we have been doing as it relates to the COVID-19 standards. We will continue an aggressive education campaign, making sure that people understand what the provision is and encouraging them, of course, to wear masks, to stay indoors, to keep their distancing. We are working very closely with the health department, with the county, and with our partners to make sure that everybody has a coordinated response. But to answer your question, we will continue ensuring that we are educating the public.
Amanda?
Amanda, are you there?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
It seems like there's an effort among law enforcement to identify and arrest those who are involved with what happened at the Capitol last week. Is CMPD cooperating in that effort?
CMPD is always cooperating with our federal partners and with our local partners as well. If there is anything that is requested of us, we will do our best to investigate it. And if we are asked, we will respond to anything that they're asking us to do.
I have Sarah.
All right. Sarah, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Thank you. We heard from you all that some CMPD officers are being sent to help with the inauguration security. Is there any CMPD resources being devoted to any activity that might be going on in Raleigh, as we hear from the FBI that they're keeping an eye on various capitals throughout the country?
So we have not received any direct requests for assistance in Raleigh. However, CMPD is an agency, as I just stated before, that works very closely with our partners, whether they're local, state, or federal. And if a request is made, then the chief would make that determination on whether we would send resources to Raleigh. But at this time, we have not received any requests.
Tina?
All right, thank you. Tina, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
The microphone seemed a little hard to hear. I was wondering if you could repeat the core platform with the bullets are for the 2021 concept. Also, my second question, are we aware, is there any people of interest or groups of interest here in Charlotte that were involved with the mob riot last Wednesday? Is there anyone that we know of? Because we did hear that there was a large group out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Okay, so can you hear me now? I want to make sure that you can hear, that I'm close enough to the mic that you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I think your first question was, what is the platform for CoreStat under Chief Jennings' Core 4? So the Core 4 are aligned under crime management, community collaboration, employee wellness, and professional accountability. So in our CoreStat session, we are going to be touching on each one of those so that the public can be educated on what our officers are doing as it relates to crime, but also too, we're going to give you more information, an educational opportunity to learn about what we're doing for the professional growth and development of our personnel, as well as their accountability, how we hold them accountable here at the organization, and also to their individual wellness. We want to make sure that we have a police department that is physically, mentally, emotionally well to be able to do their jobs to the best of their ability. So CoreStat will integrate all those things. And I think your second question is, are we going to be, do we have any information about groups that might have been at the Capitol last week, and is CMPD going to be involved in the investigation of it? And I believe that was your question, is that correct? Okay, so.
Groups or individuals here in Charlotte that actually did go to the Capitol that might be under investigation, and maybe that's nothing, I'm not sure if that's something you can tell us or not.
Yes.
But was there any people of interest from the Charlotte area or groups?
I am not aware of any at this time. However, as the FBI is investigating, if there is information or individuals develop, I'm certain that they will communicate with us, and then we will assist the investigation if requested.
After we have Susanna again.
Okay? I think there's another question from Susanna.
Okay.
Susanna, are you there?
I'm good. Sorry about that.
All right, thank you.
Paige.
Yep, I don't have another question. Sorry. Yep.
We have another question
Paige.
from Paige.
Hi there. I just wanted to see, are there any permits for protests filed this weekend or next week in the Charlotte area, or just any kind of group that might be organizing that you guys are aware of?
Yeah, I'm not aware of at this time. That's something that we will check and get back with you on. Anytime there are permits, they do come, directly to our police department. So we will check on that for you and get back to you.
Amanda Zilligan.
Okay, Amanda, you on the line?
Sure. So Charlotte has had demonstrations in the past. We've seen officers hit the CEU, the Buckle unit. I was wondering, could you walk us through some of the preparation that CMP goes through when there are demonstrations that are planned?
Okay. Anytime we have demonstrations or we have intelligence that there's going to be a demonstration, we have our civil emergency unit, which consists of field force officers as well as bike officers. We would mobilize them, beginning with those who are working on duty. We will usually typically have them in a standby capacity until more information is gained about what we are doing with them. And then we would just monitor the situation. So if it begins to be something where we do have a gathering of protesters, of course they have a right to exercise their First Amendment right. When it becomes riotous is then when we would step in and retain and restrain order in our city.
That's it.
And how does CMPD keep an eye on it? Is it officers that are in the field? Is it social media? What are some of the sources of information?
So we use several, and everything that you said. We get information from social media platforms, as well as what is given to us through our intelligence community, through the intelligence committee, but also to just our observations, because you're absolutely right. Sometimes a crowd may form maybe at the square here in Center City, and once we get that information or officers see that congregating, then we will investigate it, and if we have to call our field force, call our civil emergency unit, then we would do that. Okay. All right. Thank you all. We look forward to seeing you guys being a part of our core stat sessions, and we will send the schedules out so you will know when, as a citizen, you can be a part of that. Thank you.